Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Connor Williams, and this is our player match review from the Newcastle Everton game, which finished 1-0. Almiron scored, fantastic goal. And then, that was basically it. So without further ado, let's get into the ratings because there are 11 players to get through. So without further ado, let's get into them. Jordan Pickford, I've given a 6.5. Probably a 6.5. The goal itself, I don't think there's much you can do about that. I think it's a really, really good strike by Almiron, annoyingly. And I mean, they had 16 shots to our one. If make a couple of saves, obviously the goal went in, and there's no stopping that. So I'm going to go 6.5. Wasn't massively, made 3 saves, didn't do anything massively wrong. Saves he made weren't too complicated either. The one that went in, there's just no stopping a shot like that. It curled Lee in the corner. And yeah, really, really unfortunate that it just sort of spun, lobbed Pickford because of the spin on the ball. So yeah. Well, then we've got the right back, Seamus Coleman. I've given him a 6, just about a 6, maybe even a 5.9. It's tough to say, but we've been saying this for ages now, which is the most infuriating thing about Everton. The game has passed him by a bit now. He's getting a bit too old. He's been hung out to dry. We've all come on the channel and said similar things. I think he's okay as a leader, as somebody to have an under to, be in case you really need him for that 1 or 2 games, maybe a cup game against the lower league. I think he's great to have as a leader. I think he's good to have as a coach for the younger players like Patterson. Do I think he should be in the Everton starting 11 now? Probably not. The issue is, though, Nathan Patterson's injured and Carl John might be a bit too inexperienced, so that's the reason he played. Yeah, I'm going to give Coleman a 5.9. I think he struggled, especially coming up against the likes of Jacob Murphy. 5.9 for me for Seamus Coleman. Then we have Connor Cody. I've given him a 6.6, 6.7. I thought he played all right. It's tough to say, and I'll put my spin on the all at the end, but a 6.6, 6.5. He didn't do anything particularly wrong. His passing accuracy was all right. He tried a couple of tackles, got a couple of blocks and clearances in. His man next to him, Tarkowski, I actually think he's one of the only players that can hold their head a little bit higher. I've given him a 6.9. I thought he was really, really good. Made a couple of decent tackles. I can't remember if it was him or Connor Cody, but one of them does a 50-50. The ball bounces and he get up and run and do another 50-50 tackle in the second half, I think it was. I remember thinking if that's a Goodison part of the place erupts and the team get an extra kick up the backside, because that was one of those where if you watched it, you'd be like, oof. But yeah, Tarkowski, really, really good again. Turning out to be quite a buy. He is 6.9 for him. Then you've got Mikalenko, left back. I've given him a 6.2, 6.3. Nothing majorly wrong, but nothing overly impressive, which is sort of the damning statement of a lot of the players in this game. So he didn't do anything wrong. Didn't amaze me either. Then we've got the midfield. Garner Gay, I'm going to give it 6.5. 6.3. Sorry. I thought he was, some of the time, I thought he was a bit sloppy. His pass accuracy was apparently like 86%. But there were times where he'd receive the ball and get caught and dispossessed on the ball. It was like one time he got dispossessed because a pass came and he badly controlled it. 140% of his tackles as well. 6.4 again. Running trend, not overly exciting from any player really. Onana, I'm going to give a 6.5 to again. Again, I don't think he did anything majorly wrong, but I don't think he was also overly impressive, which is a damning statement for the whole squad. So that'll probably be the running trend. They're very basic ratings because it was a poor game overall. He won 67% of his tackles though, which was quite impressive, and he wins all all his aerial duels for the fact that he is absolutely giant. We have Alex Iwobi as well, who I think struggled a little bit to get into the game. I don't know if the right centre mid position is the right place for him. I've actually given Iwobi a 6.2, which is like quite low for Alex Iwobi, who's normally been getting like 7s and 8s. But only had 34 touches, no successful dribbles, high passes into the final third. He was dispossessed a couple of times. I just think he struggled to get into the game. I don't know if him playing that right centre mid's better. I don't know if he'd be better on the left, and then Flux in the middle. And unfortunately, struggled to get in the game. Iwobi, so I'm going to give him a 6.2. I think I said for him. It's quite low, maybe the 6. Some of these might be generous. I don't like barking them down massively. And then the front three, Gray, I'm going to give it 6.32 again. I think Gray, we saw his passing accuracy 71. His crosses weren't exactly all inspiring. I think Gray, we're learning, isn't a winger that's going to beat his man and then put in a really good ball. I think he's the type to try and catch the defence high line through on goal and then see what he can do. He's a lot better finisher than I think he is a crosser. He'd definitely be more of an inside forward in today's game. Absolutely rapid as well, pace for days, good dribbler. It's just that final third as a passer, but as an attacker, he gets goals when he beats that high line, and we've seen him do it before. So he is worthy, he is worth having him for that. I just think sometimes it might be better him on the right, which comes to Anthony Gordon. In this way, I think he might be better on the right. I think Gordon is starting on the realms of droppable. A couple of bad games, a couple of games where he tries hard, but that's about it. Sort of thing. 39 touches yesterday, only half of his dribbles were successful. No accurate crosses, no accurate long balls. Was dispossessed. He did win 2 tackles, which is what I'm saying, and had 5 recoveries with the fact he works hard. But when you move forward and take chances, which is where we're struggling, I think we need more than just work hard. I think we need final third end products from him. So I'd give Gordon a 6.4. Calvert-Lewin, I won't do all the subs. I'll do only the subs that had significant time. They all sort of did. I'll quickly do the subs. Calvert-Lewin, I actually thought had a really bad game. I know he's coming back from an injury, and he looked off the pace. His yellow card was silly. I think it was in the second half as well, or just before the end of the first. Did another tackle that could, on another day, could be a second yellow. It's definitely your first yellow if he wasn't already on one. He just looked off the pace. To be fair to Calvert-Lewin as well, we had one shot that was our only shot of the game, I'm pretty sure, or one of them in the first half anyway. We only had one shot. He didn't have many touches. He had 26 touches. He was dispossessed 5 times. Bad accurate passing, and won 50% of his aerial duels. But 26 touches for your striker is not brilliant. Some of that lie on him because he was dispossessed a couple of times. Some of it lies on the fact he's just not getting service. I don't know why we took him off to then bring on Muipai, and then 2 minutes later bring on McNeil, who for me is the only capable crosser in this squad. You've got to start playing them together. Play McNeil on the left where he belongs, because he's not an inside forward, and let him cross the ball because that's what he's better at than the likes of Gray. Put Gray on the right and let him aim for Calvert-Lewin. Don't bring him on and then take Calvert-Lewin off and bring Muipai on and start lunging balls at Muipai because he's not going to get on them. That really annoyed me. That and the 70-minute and the fact that we don't make subs till 70 minutes in really infuriates me, to be honest. But the subs. Thought James Garner had a cameo appearance. I'm going to give him a 6.2. I like what I see from him. He seems to be able to pass the ball forward. I wouldn't be opposed to playing him a little bit earlier in the game when we need a more creative midfielder, because Onan is quite industrial. Guay's more defensive, and Iwobi's that creative. But if Iwobi's not on the game or Guay's not on the game, you could drop Onan there, maybe and press and play James Garner, who looks to be able to pick out a pass at least. Moipai, again, I've given him a 6. I think he had the same sort of problem as Calvert-Lewin, struggled to get in the game, and we were lunging balls into the box for him, which never helps when he's not that type of player. Only played for 17 minutes, which is also worth pointing out. He did have a couple of dribbles, had 8 touches, and a couple of passes in the final third. I think we struggled to get him in the game when he came on. McNeil, again, 6.3, struggled to get in the game, really. I think he needs a little bit more time. Like, obviously, at the start, it was a rough start for him. I think he needs a bit more than 11 minutes. Pardon me. Yeah, he's right player, our best crosser. I don't know why we don't play him and Calvert-Lewin together. They're the match ratings, guys. Overall, I'd give Everton a proper 6.2. I think it was a bit woeful of a game. Overall, a lot of players just meh. Our XG was awful. We had one shot for the whole game. It wasn't even on target. 0.17 XG to their 16 shots and their 1.46. We're not creative enough and we're not getting shots away. And if you're not shooting, you're not going to score, which is a proper Michael Owen-esque quote, but it's true. Really poor from Everton, really poor. Looked like shades of last season. Yeah, just really poor. In a game that I don't think we should have been. These stats look like we played City sort of stats with the lack of shots, and we played a team that, bearing in mind Isaac is out and St. Maxim is out, I don't think they're miles above us. They might just be a bit better now with their recent signings, but I don't think they're miles above us. It's a really frustrating, and I don't think they were. I watched the game, and I don't think they were actually that good. I think we were just poor, which is again really infuriating. Because they weren't. I didn't think they were good. I thought we were just really poor. Um, I don't want to see subs at 70 minutes when you're 1-0 down. That's too late. Well, especially when you've only had one shot for the whole game. If we were working and we were in the rhythm, I'd say, no, yeah, don't change it. We're in a rhythm. The goals will come. The goal wasn't coming. It was never coming. Needed to make changes earlier than that. And I don't know what the answer is, whether he changes back to another different system. He plays a bit more creative players, but yeah, guys, it's not good. It's not good, and it's a shame because we started the season like okay, then we had that little bit where we're getting good results, and things were just going against us. Now, yeah, I will say this: I've seen heads are rolling, my heads aren't rolling. I don't think we're in trouble like last season. I just and I'm not fully. I always say I've not been sold on Frank Lampard since he came in. I'm still not. I'm still not sold. I don't think he's the golden god. But I do. I don't. I also. I'm not going to call for him to be sacked. I think that doesn't help anybody. But I think you are allowed to critique him when he gets it wrong. And I think his substitutions being not till after the 70 minutes in a couple of games, not just this one, is wrong. And I think the idea of taking off your target man and then bringing on a really good crosser at the ball is wrong. Hopefully that gets sorted though. But I mean, it's not all his fault either. It just looked uninspiring. Hopefully we push on now. Crystal Palace at home. Hopefully at home we, with the fans behind us, we get on a little bit. But there are my match ratings. If you agree, disagree, let me know down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. See you guys soon.